Welcome to Temps Club. I'm your host, Will Hubble. In this episode, we're at the Cavalier, and I'm joined by Rachelle Fox and Chadwick Leger. Rachelle and Chadwick have made one of my favorite spots in Austin. The Cavalier has a very unique vibe. It's like stepping into the family room in the house of the coolest people you know, complete with all the toys everywhere and cartoons on the TV, and Dad is standing behind a tiki bar in the corner asking you what you want to drink. They also have some of the best bar food in Austin. They offer a crazy amount of excellent options across 3 menus, including weekday lunch and weekend brunch. They got New Orleans po' boys, crispy chicken sandwiches and wings, all kinds of snacks and apps, different burger specials every Monday. And when I say they have brunch, they really have brunch. Chicken and waffles, deviled eggs, great Bloody Marys, everything you'd want. The Cavalier is filled with good surprises, and we're going to talk about all of that in the episode. I had a great time sitting down with Chadwick and Rachelle and talking about how it all happened. So let's get to it. This is Temps Club at the Cavalier.
Salute.
Cheers, y'all.
I had that.
It's good.
All right. So you can hear me all right? Okay. So thank y'all for being here. What shots did y'all just take?
It's
Remember to hold the mic up.
it's a zero proof by this company called Ritual. It's a zero proof.
Aperitivo?
Aperitivo. That's like an almond, or what is that?
It's like a bitter liqueur.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Well, here we are at the Cavalier. This is my favorite neighborhood bar. It's like an actual neighborhood bar. You know, I live right down the street, and we have like a ton of, it's East 6th Street, so there's a bunch of bars, but these are kind of like, they're not necessarily like neighborhood hangouts, right? Like Cavalier is very much a place where you see like the same people coming,
Right,
a lot of
yeah.
regulars.
Very regular forward.
Yeah, and it's like, it's actually like, there's a very good like family vibe here, right? Like I think I said, I'm writing like a scripted intro for this, but it kind of like feels like going to the family room of like the coolest people that you know, and you have like a tiki bar in the corner, and there's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles action figures everywhere.
Yeah. Thanks.
So
We mean for it to be welcoming and comforting.
yeah, and it absolutely is. Yeah, absolutely.
We built a place where I wanted to hang out, or we wanted to hang out, and so that's it.
I think you've succeeded. Like I love coming here. My friends love coming here. Some other things that they have at the Cavalier, basically monthly tiki nights, right? You do, it's more or less on a monthly basis.
Yeah. It's
Once a month, a pop culture themed tiki night.
Right. So last time it was Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks.
Before that it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Those are awesome. Y'all have really good food here, which is one of the reasons why we're doing this episode here, just because I'm a big, I like to eat a lot. I like to eat really well. They had water slides. That's not normal for bars, which is awesome. Really good food specials. I'm going to ask y'all about that. Very good brunch. You show the football games here. Or you show the Saints games here at least.
We
and
do.
then the UT games.
Yep.
And then the Austin FC games as well.
Correct.
Even though it's not technically a sports bar, but people want to come and watch sports at their living room of a bar, right?
right. Yeah. We like to remind people that we're not a sports bar,
Right,
but
right.
we'll show the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then y'all have $3 Jello shots, I think it is, something like that.
Yeah.
And puppy payroll. Actually wanted to ask y'all, I don't have a dog, and so I haven't done puppy payroll, but how does it work? Like, what is the premise of puppy payroll?
So we have an old-timey time clock that you literally punch your card. And so every month, dog lovers bring their pets in, and they write their name on their Instagram and can clock in. And at the end of the month, we take every entry and do a drawing for who dog of the month is. And
okay.
They win. The puppy then wins their owner a basket of prizes.
Oh, amazing. What kind of prizes? Like dog treats, like Cavalier merch?
All of that.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, that makes sense. Awesome. And I'm so sorry, I should have introduced y'all. So, Rachelle Fox, Chadwick Leger.
Leger.
Yeah, okay.
It's like the dirt deer tay thing.
Is
Leger.
is that like a French thing? Is that
It's
like Cajun?
I'm from Louisiana, and
Okay.
so
This actually leads into my first question.
Oh, great.
Because y'all have po' boys here. You play the Saints games. I was very curious, what y'all's connection to kind of Louisiana or New Orleans is.
right. I grew up in Louisiana. I grew up in the Shreveport-Bossier area.
Okay.
In the music scene there, and just,
No kidding.
Yeah, and so
I mean
that's
in Shreveport.
It's far away. It's not New Orleans. It's
Sure,
like
sure.
the
Yeah, it's
least
like
part of
north-
New Orleans, but
West Louisiana.
Yeah, and a lot of my family's from New Orleans and Rain.
Yeah.
and so yeah, it's just kind of where it comes from.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so it shows up in your menu. It kind of shows up in the vibe here a little bit. Yeah, and you have like really good like biscuits and gravy. And you have good po' boys.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I think you told me that you were like the first kind of chef here. Do y'all both work on the food together?
During the pandemic, I took over the kitchen
Okay, gotcha.
by necessity.
Yeah.
And have held on to that strong for a couple of years now. We have
Oh, no
a really
kidding.
wonderful chef in the kitchen now who has been gracious enough to take a lot of that off my plate, but he and I still collaborate on the menu together.
Gotcha. I'm going to ask some more questions about that pretty soon. But I guess I wanted to go back a little bit because you have like a great story for this bar. Because we talked about this when we first met, but before we even get into that, I'm just curious, like, what were y'all doing before this bar? Like were y'all working together before this, or no?
Was there a time before this bar?
No, right?
We both worked in the industry in Austin.
Okay.
I grew up in Austin. I'm from here originally.
You're from here, okay.
I'm from here. And most recently, I spent 8 years at Vespaio on South Congress as
Oh,
a
okay.
bartender and bar manager there.
Yeah.
Among very many other places in town, working music festivals, live music venues, high volume, fine dining, neighborhood bars, you name it, I've
Yeah.
worked it.
Did you know Tom Micklethwait when you were at Vespaio?
I did. I knew him
Okay.
before then, in fact.
Oh, really? Okay, nice. Just from being in Austin, being in like service industry in the area.
Correct. I worked at a punk rock bar on Red River in the early 2000s.
Red Seven?
Called Beerland.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yes, and his bands played there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. I remember Beerland. I used to
Yeah.
go there. Yeah. That's awesome. And what were you
Yeah.
doing before this?
I was over at Shangri-La on
Oh,
East
okay.
6th. I was there for about 8 years, I think, and I was bartending and managing there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So when did y'all meet?
At Shangri-La, we met 6 years before we became a couple.
Yeah,
And
it
had been
was-
friends for a long time.
Yeah, it was at Shang. It was during South by,
Yeah.
and then we just kind of hit it off.
Yeah.
I went to high school with one of the owners of Shangri-La.
Right.
Okay, cool.
And so was working there, and then he picked up gigs there, and then he stayed, and I left, and we stayed friends, and then
Yeah,
Here
and
we
then
are.
one day.
That's awesome. So how long, I guess, was it between y'all like first getting together and then deciding to open a bar together?
I think from, what a great question, 2 to 3 years. It wasn't
Yeah,
long.
I would say probably 3 years,
Yeah.
something like
'Cause
that.
that's big commitment, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Definitely is.
yeah. So
Huge commitment.
what was like? Do you remember the moment where you decided to just like take the plunge and be like, let's open a bar together? Like, let's just do that.
I don't remember the moment. I had talked about it and looked into it for quite a long amount of time. And when Chadwick came into my picture, I brought that up to him, and he said, "I don't know about that."
Yeah,
And
I was kind of like,
I think you were
I'm
happy
good.
doing
Yeah.
what you were doing, and at some point, I don't know what point.
Yeah, some switch flipped, and I was like, yeah, I could do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what it was. It might have been like I was just ready for something new.
Sure.
Like being at Shangri-La for so long.
Right.
I think I kind of hit my whatever. And so I was...
You ready to graduate?
Yeah, I was like, all right, let's do it. Fuck it. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
And, and so we started looking, and,
I found this.
yeah, we found this.
So, and this was before it was this. It was the Dog and Duck, which had
Yes.
moved over here,
Right.
right?
Sure. The Dog and Duck had been near campus for 27 years.
Yeah.
And when their building was sold, they moved to this new structure.
Right.
And were here for about 2.5 years before they decided to move on.
Yeah,
Right.
fair enough. I loved the Dog and Duck, by the way. Like, I used to spend a lot of time there because
yeah,
I
same.
lived in West Campus. and
Right.
That might have been our only proper pub in town.
Sure.
Right? Like, we don't.
Absolutely.
There are not
Yeah.
really
One
any
of
pubs
few,
in
yeah.
Austin.
Yeah. All of this wood underneath the bar is the original Dog and Duck flooring
Okay.
from the OG location.
Really? So they just moved all of that over.
Some of it, yes.
That's crazy. Because What was do you know the story? Did they move that bar from England or something, like in the original location?
I don't know the
I
story.
don't know the
I feel like I
answer to
had
that.
known. That's fine. I'm just curious because I like that place a lot. I like a bar where you walk in and your eyes have to adjust to how dark it is, right?
Yes.
That was a classic pub. But that does answer the question of where. Well, actually, where is the bar from? Somebody asked me this about.
So the exterior of the bar front is
Yeah.
the original hardwood flooring from the original Dog and Duck. The bar
Okay.
top Chadwick built.
Oh, nice.
And
No
then
kidding.
all of the back bar wood up above and behind, all of that wood came out of a 1920s East Austin barn, and Chadwick installed that
No kidding. So
with a friend of ours.
and at the top of the bar with all the detail on the side, you did all of that as well.
Yeah. Well, I bought
He
the
found the
trim.
pe- he
Yeah,
found the
I
piece.
found the
Actually,
trim,
yeah.
and then I just.
But you know how to work with wood.
I do.
So
yeah.
what's the story behind that? You were a carpenter,
No.
our Lord and Savior.
Not at all. YouTube.
Trial by fire.
Yeah.
YouTube, yeah, really?
Pretty much trial
Okay.
by fire, but looking up a lot of videos on YouTube and going from there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right.
So it's like a hobby, but
Now
it's
it is,
professional.
yeah. Once I got pretty good at it, I was like, yeah, I
Gotcha.
do it every once in a while. So
Okay, that's cool. I mean, it looks great.
Thanks.
Yeah. So y'all opened this bar, as I understand, the same year, like around the same time that you had your daughter.
Yes.
And
Correct.
that's pretty crazy because my friends just had a baby, and they're kind of like coming apart at the seams a little bit. Like it's not like, from what I understand, an easy thing to do, raise a new child.
Yeah,
And so
exactly.
doing
Somehow.
that and a bar at the same time, it sounds like a lot of work. And so, I mean, one is just like how were you able to do that at all?
What a great question. I'm not sure I have the answer to that.
Uh-huh.
We did it. I don't know how we did it.
Right.
I was 7 months pregnant when we opened the doors. First day
Wow.
of South by Southwest, March 2018, 7 months pregnant, open a bar.
Yeah.
So while we were building this place out, the baby was hearing, instead of Mozart in the tummy,
Right.
was hearing construction terms. And,
Yeah.
And we would balance our sort of, permitting timeline here with milestones with the pediatrician and the gynecologist. So
That
it
is
was
a lot
it
of
was
balance, yeah.
a lot
It's
of
a lot of
balance. Yes.
yeah, I think once Sonny was about to be born, like we would show up. And all the cooks and bartenders were like, "Get the fuck out of here! Will y'all please go?"
Please go home.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
were they were
Right. It was
afraid they
just
were
like-
going to have a bigger mess to clean up.
Right.
Than
And
they
so,
wanted.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. But the baby came and the bar stayed, and somehow we did it all. And
Yeah.
I still don't know how.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's
Yeah.
that's really cool. And I'm sure it brought people together in a very kind of like
Oh.
acute way.
When the baby was born, we would just bring her with us.
Yeah, right.
And so we have, like you said, a lot of wonderful neighbors, guests, and friends
Yeah.
that frequent this bar. And so if I needed to run food or cook in the kitchen, I could hand her off to someone sitting at the bar and say, "Hey, I'll buy you some chicken tenders if you'll watch this baby for 20
Aw,
minutes."
that's
and
adorable.
it was,
Yeah, it was-
a real community effort, I
Yeah.
should say.
So baby comes to the bar.
Yes.
She
and
does.
So she's basically just going to grow up here,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like,
Oh yeah.
is she going to be part of the family business? Do you think? Maybe do some interning eventually.
She has on occasion helped make the biscuits for
Oh,
sure.
really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So, yeah, what would you say, I guess, the best thing and the hardest thing about that first year kind of raising your daughter in the bar?
I would say the best thing is that community spirit.
Yeah.
That our friends really came through for us, and I think we really sort of set a tone here that we really truly are a mom and pop shop.
Yeah, right.
Yes, and the fact that the folks that showed up were all in for it. We're okay with it and all in for it, and very supportive. So
Yeah.
I think that was, for me, one of the best things. Yeah.
Totally.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I think one of the hardest parts was just trying to figure out how to do it.
How to do it all.
Sure, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it was tough because we couldn't both be here to operate, and it was a new business, and it required a lot of time and attention.
Yeah.
And so Chadwick would be here for 12 plus hours a day,
Right.
steering the ship, which is tough in its own right, while I'm home with the newborn, dealing with all that.
Yeah.
And then he and I trying to help each other,
Right, it's
sometimes successfully, but not always.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Coming home after a long day and it's like, here's the baby. And you're like, ugh. And then you think about it and you're just like, well, she just
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
this baby
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
12, 13 hours. So.
Right.
If the
Yeah.
baby, or when the baby went to sleep, and then I'd open my laptop and go to work instead of getting rest
Right.
myself. So
Yeah,
it was
right.
a hard juggle for sure.
How long did it take until you could kind of like go into like a more normal rhythm?
We're still.
Okay. Yeah.
I would say
it's-
I felt human after about 4 months.
Okay.
But that didn't mean there was a normal rhythm.
Yeah.
She never did daycare or anything, so
Gotcha.
we really started to hit our stride here at the Cavalier just before our 2-year anniversary, and we were
Okay.
so excited to really get our sea legs.
Yeah. Right.
And that's right when the shutdown happened
Right
for
when
the
the pandemic started.
So
Yeah,
it was
right.
a whole new adventure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, let's talk about that a little bit. Like, because, you know, I wasn't in Austin at the time. I was in New Orleans, and I was in LA for the first part of it. And then I went to New Orleans to be with my family. And so I know Texas handled things a little differently than a lot of places in the country did. So what was it like just like running like a bar / restaurant like during the pandemic? How did that, I'm sure, it had an effect on y'all's bottom line. I'm sure it had an effect on everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
I would say, day one was the toughest, or one was the first tough moment.
Just like in like March in that.
I
like,
would say,
people were like, oh, this is for real.
laying off 12 employees that needed
yeah.
the work.
Right.
And then us coming in the very next day, opened the doors to the capacity we could, Chadwick and I and the baby.
Yeah.
Literally brought the baby, the neighbors came to support, and they were like, oh, it's just y'all.
It was just y'all. Here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And and our chef at the time. That was tough.
Yeah.
But we had to at some point reassess our mission and our values. If what we are providing is a space for people to come together, how do they do that in
Right.
a pandemic when people aren't allowed to be together?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we had to really refocus how we got there, how we made people feel warm and welcome and comfortable while still away from our space.
Right. I also felt like it was every week we were changing something because it was like,
Absolutely.
oh, all right, this is what we have to do.
3 days,
So,
3
yeah.
weeks, 3 months, pivot.
Like, what were y'all changing? Like, what you
So-
were offering?
Yes.
Like, how
all
you were
egos out
offering
the
it?
door. What works, what doesn't work. We would prepare takeout kits.
Yeah.
Or backyard picnic barbecue kits.
Okay.
Or learning how to deliver food because we didn't do that before. And Chadwick
Right.
would show up like, here you go.
So you'd personally deliver food?
Yeah,
to
I would
people?
drive around and deliver
Yeah.
food, and we also were
Cocktail
selling
kits.
groceries.
Selling groceries.
Toilet paper was a huge thing.
You would sell toilet paper?
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean we could
That's
We
still
pretty
get
became
it
a
and
grocery
sell.
store. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was
Get it.
wild.
It was.
Wild.
Yeah,
It's
that's
crazy.
nuts.
Yeah.
So, and were you allowed to sell alcohol?
To go,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you was like just beer bottles, cans,
You
mixed
could
drinks.
sell alcohol in a sealed container with food.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes, it was very specific. So we could sell.
That's still the rule, isn't it?
It
Yes.
is.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
we could
gotcha.
sell small bottles of liquor. We could sell cocktail kits.
Yeah.
And we did. We did like
Yeah.
a tiki cocktail kit monthly subscription
cool.
service, which was
Yeah.
cool. We would
yeah, cool.
we would make a custom play. Chadwick would make custom playlists to go with each cocktail. He would make the
Oh, that's awesome.
drink. Yeah.
We took advantage of the frozens, and we sold
Right.
Frozen to go.
to go every day.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
But what I would say, one of the best things that came out of that was we really dug our heels into the community
Yeah.
and decided to provide a safe, warm, welcoming space
Right.
Yeah.
and comfort food, again with the cocktails and the kits that you can take home. But as the world opened up and we could be open more and we could provide more service here on site, it felt really good to see our community come together.
Yeah.
Again, we were providing groceries. We were able to provide meals for people in need. There were a lot of
passing out groceries and meals for free for people.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it was
It was
was
just like
huge.
people in like the neighborhood.
some people in the service industry.
service industry,
Okay.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
We worked with what was the company
What a great question.
that did the groceries, like the
Oh yes, there was a. Oh god, it escapes my brain. There was like a farm to market, farm to table produce group here in town. It's going to bother me that I can't think of what they're
Right.
called, but they supported us with. I can't tell you. I don't remember.
a
No
ton of
worries. Yeah,
fresh
there's
fruit
a
and
lot of
groceries
memories that
and-
we've suppressed from that time
They
period.
really, but they were great.
Yeah.
They helped us out, and so
Yeah.
whenever we get stuff from them, we would
Yes.
cook it up or bag it up, and make a post somewhere like, "Come get some free
Right.
groceries."
Yes.
And I know that y'all do get like I feel like you get a lot of service industry people here, right?
Yes.
And that's just because y'all have been in it for a while, and so you have
Forever.
those connections. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a little bit of a service industry bar, yeah, which is awesome. So that's cool that y'all got to like just get together and kind of make that part of y'all's like working MO during
Absolutely,
the pandemic,
yeah.
just like kind of be the nexus of that.
Well, it felt good to be able to do something for our community that had done so much for us
Right.
previously,
Yeah.
and we were well supported by our neighbors and friends for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So when did things kind of turn back to normal for y'all?
The freeze of February 21.
That was normal?
No, the freeze was terrible, but after that,
Okay.
After that,
yeah.
it was-
after that, that was another time when so many people in this neighborhood lost power,
Right.
and we were stuck at our house in South Austin and
Gotcha.
and not able to leave. But my brother lived around the corner, and we had some neighbors who all came. My brother had a key, and so they all came and cooked meals for the Section 8 housing down the street who were out
Oh,
of
that's
power,
amazing.
and cooked meals for the other neighbors that were out of power because our food was going to go bad if it didn't
Yeah,
get put to
yeah.
use. And while we couldn't be here because we were
Right.
dealing with our own situation,
Right,
we were
right.
housing 2 other families in our home.
No
We
kidding.
did have power. And to see that our neighborhood was able to come together to support one another was pretty rad.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually wanted to talk about the neighborhood a little bit. So, this is an East Austin bar, and y'all we talked a little bit like you came in when like the Dog and Duck was kind of like leaving. Did you want to move to East Austin in particular, or was it was it not as important as that? I'm just kind of curious, like, because East Austin has kind of its own vibe, but was that kind of like something that you wanted when you opened Cavalier?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
He and I had both lived here separately for 10 or 12 years on the east side.
Uh-huh.
I'm from South Austin originally, and
Okay.
so that area is always appealing to me to invest in that.
Yeah.
But we love this neighborhood
Yeah.
so
Right.
much, this whole part of town, and so we were very fortunate to be connected with this space.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and South Austin is also like I lived kind of like just south of like William Cannon for a little while, and back then there wasn't like a lot down there, but it's really like kind of blown up in a big way. Like there's a lot of cool things down there, like Armadillo Den and Meanwhile and stuff like that. So it's nice to see like not everybody can live in like the center of Austin, right? You need to have like things like that, people are like spilling over to other parts, I guess.
Absolutely.
Right, absolutely.
That's exciting to see. So, I guess in terms of like East Austin, how is the vibe, do you think, different than other parts of Austin?
That there's a long answer to that.
Uh-huh.
I would say East Austin is younger and hipper
Yeah.
and edgier
Right.
than many other parts of
I mean,
Austin.
we're right across the street from a heavy metal bar,
right.
heavy metal biker bar. Yeah. And do you kind of consciously try to reflect or embody that vibe, or just being yourself and you're just kind of like, kind of putting it in the mix?
I think we make an effort for that. You'll see posted around the bar, "You be you,"
Yeah.
and the mantra of the city is "All are welcome,"
Yeah.
and we really work towards that. Everyone is welcome here,
Yeah.
whether
And you can
whether
feel that here for sure.
the tattooed beardos
Right.
or the loafer polo wearers, like whoever you are. If you're gonna be cool and kind to everybody else in here, come on in.
Just don't be a jerk. Yeah.
Just don't be a jerk.
Right.
Be a jerk.
What place in Austin is gone that you would want to bring back? There's probably, maybe like 20.
Well, where do I begin? Beerland was iconic.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a super cool bar there now called 13th Floor in Beerland's old space on
Okay.
Red River. Very cool. So they're sort of bringing back the dream.
Yeah. Was it Red Eye Fly in the middle of that?
Red Eye Fly
Okay.
was there as well. I mean, when I was a teenager, Liberty Lunch was the place to
Liberty
go.
Lunch?
Right.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Where was that?
That was on 2nd Street next to where Lambert's is now. And it was
Okay.
a warehouse with live music and kind of on par with like what Stubbs does, or like maybe what Mohawk does. Divier, but about that capacity.
Yeah.
A couple thousand people, big punk shows.
That's where
What did
everybody
I
played
see? I
there.
saw like Bad Religion
Gotcha.
there.
Yeah,
like just
Nirvana
big.
played there, Fugazi.
Yeah,
it was
Hole.
like,
Yeah.
everyone played
No
there.
kidding.
Yeah.
But it was a warehouse
Yeah.
downtown.
Gotcha. Wow. No kidding. Did y'all ever go to Broken Neck when it was out here on the? I guess it was like a very punk. Like it was not technically allowed to be a venue. It was a warehouse where I think they have like it's near like where Sawyer and Co. and
Okay.
the Mexican place down there, Donata. Yeah, that was another place that was just like a big punk
think I've ever
warehouse.
went there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, fair enough. We were talking about food a little bit earlier. You try a lot of different specials. You have a lot of good stuff. Like you post it on Instagram. How do you know when an item is ready to go live? You know, like how many iterations do you do, or like, you know, like testers do you have for that stuff? Like who's in the lab also doing that?
It's usually me coming up, spitballing an idea,
Yeah.
and Chadwick saying, "Here's how to make it better."
Okay.
And then we go to HEB and get a couple things, and then we come here and work on it. And if all of our staff tastes it and says, "Yeah, I would eat that,"
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
you
Then
just
we
like
go
have
live.
like a night during the week where it's like testing night. Everybody come and try this.
usually in the afternoon. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very cool. Amazing. So yeah, I think I said earlier they have really good specials here. Like Monday is 2-for-1 burger night. There's usually like a
Feature
burger
burger.
special. Yeah. Y'all never really repeat it either. I haven't seen like
The
a lot
only
of
time
repetition.
we repeat it is when we do the big hitters like the
Patty melt.
patty melt,
That's my
and the
personal
chopped
favorite.
cheese.
Yeah, the chopped
Okay.
cheese and
Yeah.
the patty melt.
Yeah.
We
Gotcha.
try to throw those back into rotation. Otherwise, we try to keep it creative and fun and something new.
Right. Yeah, I love that. And Instagram is kind of like the main way that y'all get that out there to get people to come in.
Correct.
That's an interesting kind of thing about Instagram. That like, because you know, even like doing this, like I know that I'm gonna have to promote it a lot on Instagram. How much do y'all rely on that to just, you know, I don't know, network and like kind of spread the word about your business?
A fair amount.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as our marketing is concerned, probably 70% of it is
No kidding.
over Instagram, I would say.
Wow.
Yep.
Did you ever mess with like Twitter or Snapchat or Facebook or anything else?
Nope.
Just Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, we have a Facebook,
We
but
have a Facebook,
we
Yeah.
haven't really.
and Instagram feeds it.
Right.
Yeah, right.
But
Okay.
I mean, you never see anything off of it. You know, it's like
Some people, we get some
sometimes,
feedback off of that.
sometimes.
It is an interesting thing that Instagram has become kind of this, like, it is like the, I don't know, I feel like it's like the main social network for people who like to go out and do things, right? I don't know what that means, if that's like good or bad, but yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting way that, like, what about TikTok? Do you ever like do anything for TikTok? Not like,
I've yet to master it.
yeah, right. But you're on TikTok?
I'm not going to say yes to that. But, I mean, I have no beef with TikTok.
Yeah.
I am not on there regularly enough to say that I'm participating.
Fair enough. I've started using it because I'm like making kind of content to like put out, promote. If I flip through the feed, I do feel like it's like taking like a hammer to my brain a little bit. Like it will make you dumber, I think.
Oh yeah.
It's a great tool to use.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's just not one that I use often.
And it's, I don't know, it's different because it's like it gets you out there to a lot of people, but Instagram's very different because it's more about like a networking and like among the people around you, right? Like people that you know.
Right, and you see everything they're doing. I think Instagram also gives me a lot of FOMO when I see
Yeah,
people
right,
having
yeah.
fun. I'm just like, fuck, man, I want to do that.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what it's
go
good
to the
for.
Cavalier to their tiki night.
Right.
Dang.
Yeah. Oh, they have a water slide today?
Yeah.
That is where I see a lot of what y'all are doing. So it's interesting to hear that it is kind of like part of y'all's strategy. And on the regular menu that you have, not the specials, but you've had a lot of like really good things kind of just come and go. How often do you change up the menu, and are you trying to come up with something stable to settle on, or do you just like mixing it up?
We have our staples on that menu, items that could never leave or the customers would revolt.
Yeah,
So
right.
the chicken tenders will never leave.
Sure.
The chicken sando is great. The
Wings.
burgers for sure. Wings.
Yeah.
Deviled eggs
Yeah. Deviled eggs are like one of y'all's like kind of hidden secret specialties.
for sure. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah. So we are able to play around with some other menu items quarterly, seasonally.
Yeah.
So 3 to 4 times a year, we'll change that up just to have something new and fun and different.
Right.
And then whatever the favorites were of spring, we'll bring back next year, or we'll try something new. Really depends on what our purveyors have that is fresh, and what our mood is that
Yeah.
season.
That makes a lot of sense. All right, let's talk a little bit about the aesthetic of the bar, because, like I've said, it does feel like almost like a living room a little bit. So, because you have it's kind of like a dense, lived-in aesthetic, right? And it's kind of like built up over time. And so, who determines what makes it onto the walls around here? Is that just like a team thing? Do you have like a like
Chadwick and I.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Say that. Things show up here, and then I'm like, I like that. We're gonna
Yeah.
put it up. Yeah.
There's some things from our own home that come here
Yeah.
because we think it would suit the bar space. Some pieces of art that people create that we think need to stay to be as a part of the building. Most of it's pretty organic.
Yeah.
The way it comes.
Because I noticed when I'm so sorry, I can't remember the actor's name, but when the actor who played Pee Wee Herman passed away, that picture of him and Dolly Parton, y'all just put that up recently, or is that already there?
That's been there.
Oh, that's
from
been
day-
there.
from
Okay,
day one, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we have a couple of Pee Wee things, some Dolly things all over the place.
Gotcha. And
Just
rest
because
in
we love
peace.
them. Yeah,
Right.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, those are a fairly new addition, or they've been there as well.
No,
Some of them are new
some are new.
Yeah.
and some are old.
Gotcha. So I saw on your Instagram. It seems like you really like that new TMNT movie. I haven't seen it myself yet.
Sunny
You
watches
should.
it a lot, but
You
it's really
should.
good.
I will
Yeah.
watch it. Yeah.
I grew up with Ninja Turtles, and
Yeah.
so I love Ninja Turtles.
I watched it a lot when I was a little kid, for
Right.
sure. Yeah.
But yeah,
Our 5-year-old loves it.
Okay,
Loves
awesome.
the Ninja Turtles.
so it's great.
Yeah.
Like, she watches all the time, and I'm just like, yeah.
Do you show her the original cartoons as
Yeah.
well?
She knows
Yeah.
the difference between all the movies and all the iterations
really?
of the cartoons. She'll ask for a specific one. Yeah. she
What
knows.
about the what about the crossover they did with the Power Rangers in the 90s?
Oh,
Do you
I
remember
don't
that?
think she's familiar with that.
She's not.
They,
Okay, that's a rabbit hole we might have to go down.
that was when the Power Rangers were in space. I don't know if you remember that.
Wow.
Yeah. Of the two of you, which of you is more into bringing like the '90s decor into the bar?
Both of us.
I think
Yeah,
that's
it's
both
pretty
of us.
evenly matched.
Yes.
Yeah, like
yes.
because I think you had like a '90s tiki night not that long ago.
We
or maybe I'm
do.
wrong about that.
Every Christmas season, every December holiday season, we do a holiday cocktail pop-up.
Okay.
And we feature, it's called Nostalgic Noel.
Yeah.
And we'll feature cocktails inspired by 90s and early 2000s toys and cartoons.
Okay, gotcha.
And our menu is a Viewmaster, like with the with a
Awesome.
custom wheel in it. With
No kidding, that's cool.
Yeah, we get custom wheels made with photos of our.
There's
of our
just a service
cocktails.
that does that makes like Viewmaster wheels.
Yes,
That's
yes,
really cool.
Yeah,
No
we've
kidding.
got the My Pet Monster that is my pet monster.
Oh, really? Nice.
From when I was a kid,
And the ET.
and the ET came from the house. I don't know from where.
That's pretty
The Mr.
cool.
Potato Head is our daughter's.
We're gonna have to get some shots of that stuff. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Wrapped in cords that
right.
I can't move.
Let's talk about. So you said you call yourselves a non-sports bar. that shows sports. Obviously, I've watched a lot of Saints games here. Is there ever? Do you feel any like tension between the different crowds? Like I've been here for a Saints game, and it's been like drag brunch at the same time. Like there's no tension there. It is it's a little different than what you might expect at a sports bar for sure.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
It's pretty great. Well, there's a little bit of crossover. I mean, a lot of Saints fans are open-minded people from New Orleans.
Yeah, we like to party.
That's right.
Right.
And guess what? A lot of drag queens like to party.
Yeah.
It's always fun seeing everybody kind of fuck with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, playfully.
Especially-
yes.
playfully fucking with each other, which I love.
With the drag
But yeah.
queens teasing the Saints fans and back and forth,
Back
and
and forth.
the queens really bring the football fans into their show, and,
Right, yeah.
and play with them in a
No
playful
one
way.
seems to mind. So
No, Rhonda's come out in the black and gold to support. Yeah, that's big. No, I love that about y'all. So, all right, let's talk about dive bars. Do y'all consider yourselves a dive bar?
I would say we are.
I would say, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think are the crucial ingredients for a dive bar? Because I've been talking about this with my friends, and like a lot of these, again, like when we talk about like these East 6th Street bars, they're not really dive bars. Maybe like Yellow Jacket might be considered a dive.
Liberty.
Liberty's
Liberty,
dive
yeah.
bar, Grackle.
Yeah,
Diving.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I think there's a Venn diagram there where, Grackle's a whiskey bar and a dive bar.
Right. I get,
Yeah.
La
Violet
Swell-
Crown.
Sure.
La
La Swell is a live music venue and a dive bar and a biker bar.
Right.
We're a neighborhood pub and a dive bar
Right.
and a restaurant.
I also
Somehow.
I'm kind of back and forth with that of calling us
Uh-huh.
a dive bar because sometimes I'm just like, well, we're a little too bright.
It does look like an office building
yeah.
with big windows.
Yeah, we are hidden in an office building. But I also, whenever I think of dive bars, I think dark. dingy
Yeah, I would not
bars.
describe this place as dingy.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's where sometimes I'm like,
I think
Yeah, all right.
I think our rather casual approach and casual service and cheap beers lend to a dive
Right.
bar
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not fine dining.
Yeah,
not at all.
I think, like, to me, one of the important things about a dive is that it has like a bar that people sit at and hang out at. Like, if it's just like if the vibe is not that you hang out at the bar, then I don't feel like you can really call it a dive.
Fair
You know,
Mm-hmm.
like if it's like you're going down to sit at a bench or something like that, and nobody ever sits at the bar because you want regulars at a dive, right? Who are like crusty individuals maybe. Okay, so more on the service industry stuff. What would y'all like to see less of in the service industry as people who have been in it for a while?
We'd like to see less of.
Just maybe not, like here specifically, but I don't know, like if there's anything that you think should change about the way that service industry works.
I've worked at so many different styles of venue, and some of them, again, were fine dining, where we're really pampering a guest. Some of them were places where you could just totally talk shit to your customers.
Uh-huh.
You were right, not them.
Right.
And here, we very much believe in great, welcoming, friendly service.
Yeah.
So I would love to see everywhere, most places, offer friendly service.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fair
or
enough.
knowledgeable service.
Right.
Yeah.
Not like, I don't know, entitled service or like, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I always tell everybody in our meetings, it's like the days of the grumpy bartenders it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I always look forward to that, like being better.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, I want to see more bars taking care of their employees. I feel like you
Yeah.
don't see that a lot.
Great
Right.
point.
So many people suffer from mental health and everything
Yeah.
in the service industry, and they have nothing to fall on.
Right.
And one of the things that we offer here is insurance and mental health care. So
That's great.
I hope eventually every bar will be able to do that, and
Yeah.
I see it
It's hard
a
to
lot
do,
more
yeah.
than
It's hard to offer, but
what it used to be.
we're glad to be
Yeah.
able to do that.
So-
Yeah. That's
Oh,
becoming
that's huge.
more,
No,
Yeah,
absolutely.
huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
more regular. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially because like Austin, is a city that's more expensive all the time.
Right.
And so like people who work in the service industry, like I mean, like a lot of them just can't afford to live in town,
Totally.
right? Like
Yeah.
that's like become more of a problem over time.
But this city is nothing. I mean, well, it's a lot more than just bars, but it is a drinking city. you know?
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's like
No kidding.
nobody's really taking care of the bars
Right.
here, so
Yeah. Oh, what else can you do?
yeah.
So, I guess more to that point, what do you look for in the people that you hire?
Well, we are a really tight-knit staff here.
Right.
We have, again, friendly, knowledgeable, helpful, open-minded folks.
Yeah.
And when we hire them, we say, look, everyone in this building has the same job. You may have a different priority than the other person, but everyone's job is to ensure a positive guest experience.
Yeah.
Now, his priority may be to cook the food. Your priority may be to make the drinks. The barback's priority is something else. There is no position greater than another.
Right.
And so if someone can leave their ego at home and come in and have a good time taking care of people.
Yeah, taking care of people and making sure that
Yeah.
they're feeling welcome and safe.
Yeah.
That's a huge part.
We always say jerks and numbskulls need not apply, but
Yeah.
goofballs are welcome.
Okay, awesome. I love that. Yeah, and everybody I've talked to here is just really friendly.
Love it.
Again, like friends with with Britt and with Rhonda. Yeah, you have a good crew here for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We love them.
Yeah, no, they're great. I mean, it's
Genuinely.
part of what makes it kind of like like a neighborhood vibe, like good hangout, like family vibe. All right, so I don't have too many more of these questions. We have another segment, which is the questions out of a hat segment. I don't know if you saw that in the Mickleweight episode that I sent y'all. But I do have just like maybe 3 more, just regular questions. So, has there ever been a moment that made you think we need to get out of this business?
Certainly.
Yeah.
Certainly. A few. Well, I will say kind of the opposite of that. We worked so hard during the pandemic to keep the dream alive.
Yeah.
And it was really hard on so many levels, but we did. We succeeded. And about a year ago, I had an epiphany, and I went, oh my God. We could have just closed. We could have just walked away.
Yeah.
And nobody would have thought any less of us.
Right.
Like the
Yeah.
pandemic took us away.
Right,
And we
right.
could have done it. And it never crossed my mind
That's awesome.
at any point until last year. I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
well, I
Yeah.
guess we're in it.
And I don't know if that's us being stubborn or it's,
It didn't cross my
Yeah.
mind.
This is what you do.
right.
Right. Yeah.
But when she said that, I also was like, oh,
Oh.
man, I could have gotten some sleep. That'd been great.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
So,
not really like since so only like in retrospect you thought like, man, like this
Yeah,
maybe
I'm super proud of what we've put forward. I think
Yeah.
we could stand to have more stronger personal boundaries with the space for sure.
What do you mean?
What I mean is we
Oh, like in your work-life kind of balance?
yes,
I see what you're
we
saying.
struggle with our work-life balance. We live
Right.
and breathe our work. We
Yeah.
are both workaholics. We both love the work we do, and we own the business. So it's tough to ever pull ourselves away or turn the
Yeah.
switch off.
It really is like your living room.
It really is like our living room.
yeah.
And so really for us, if we learned stronger boundaries, then we wouldn't ever have a moment of
Right.
thinking, oh, we should walk away.
Yeah. Is that something that you're actively working on, like with a counselor or something like that? Like, how do your bar and you reading a book?
Right. Just me and my journal.
Yeah. Fair enough. And what's something you wish you knew before you opened?
Oh my gosh, if I knew how hard it was, I never would have done it. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I think we thought we were opening a bar with a food truck originally. We found this great space. It had a full kitchen. Sure, we can do that. And operating a kitchen is a lot more work than I think anyone ever realizes.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
So
really.
you're like running a restaurant.
That's right. I really give props to folks who operate restaurants and run kitchens for sure.
Yeah.
It's,
when we were taking the lease on this place, that was definitely one of the things where I was like, I've never worked in restaurants. I've only been bartender.
Okay, gotcha.
And so I was like, you've worked at restaurants. We got this.
Yeah.
It's fine. And then it was like, a couple months in, we were just like, oh.
Then we're cooking.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
So-
Yeah. And so you do some cooking as well. I mean, I know you work. You said you worked on some of the specials.
Really during the pandemic, and if someone is out sick,
Right.
and then Chadwick will
I'll
jump
step
in.
in and
Yes.
help.
Gotcha. Okay, so you picked up some skills along the way.
Definitely picked
Yeah.
up some skills in the,
Right.
if
I'm sure you both had to learn a lot.
Right.
Indeed.
If this ever didn't work out, it's like if somebody was like, well, I got a job in the kitchen that's available, I might be like, all right, see what
Yeah.
happens.
Okay. Nice.
Doubtful,
And-
but
Sure.
It's hard work.
Cavaliers forever. The Cavaliers
Yes.
not going anywhere.
I hope it's forever.
yeah,
I hope so too.
that's our goal. So.
All right. So my last question, this segment, basically, what is the proudest moment that you've had here?
I will say for me it was that time February 2021 with the big freeze. We were a year
Yeah.
into the pandemic, and our neighbors and community came together to support one another using our resources, and for us and our community to be able to do that was really huge.
Yeah.
I think we
Yeah, that was a
formed
big
a
one.
bond with our sweet neighbors.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
I hear, when people tell me that they feel so welcome and comfortable at our bar, that's one of
Yeah.
the things I take pride in.
Yeah.
So whenever somebody says that, I'm just like, yeah, all right. We're doing it. We're doing
Yeah.
okay. Like,
We're doing it.
so,
It's the vision.
I think
You made
offering
it
health
happen.
insurance is a big one for
yeah,
me too.
it's a huge one. That
'Cause
was
it took us 5 years to get there.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
trying
Yeah.
to
It
figure
is
out
a
how to
big
do
deal.
it. Once
Yeah,
we
for
figure
sure.
it out, it's like,
Yeah. It feels good.
it's great.
People need that. It is a
Absolutely.
big deal. Yeah.
So.
I was doing contracting like last year, and that the marketplace is not so good. Usually like $8,000 deductible. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
rough.
Yeah.
So that's awesome that you have to do that. Well, great. So I think we'll move on to our next segment here. Let me just ask you really quick, Hank. How does video look on both of these? Is that still recording? I hope it's still recording.
We're
Yeah.
gonna start over.
Okay. Yeah. Can you just do exactly what you guys already did? All right. So we got the questions in a hat. All the questions are in here. Yep. Sure. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. All right. So this is the questions out of a hat segment. Do y'all need a break, bathroom, or anything? You another drink?
Yeah, I could do another drink. Do y'all want anything?
I have my my next 5 tequila shots here. So.
You okay?
I'm great, thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's what Friday tastes like. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, questions out of a hat. Let's see.
All right.
Where is the best po' boy, and what is it? And you can't say yourself. I'm sorry.
I would say Verdi Mart in New Orleans.
Mart.
Yeah, Verdi
My
Mart's
favorite.
classic choice. All right. And what is the po' boy that you get there?
Fried shrimp.
Fried shrimp.
I do the shrimp.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. I might say my favorite is fried oyster at Parasols.
Fair enough.
I'm a big fan of that
No
with
one's
like the
mad at that. Mm-hmm.
firecracker sauce. Yeah. All right. Let's see. What do we got? Is pickleball lame?
Oh,
I like pickleball.
it's so fun.
Pickleball's fun. It's
Yeah.
fun. Sorry, tennis people.
It might be dorky, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It might have gotten too popular too fast, and so now everybody hates it. But
right.
I
Yeah.
It's a good time.
really enjoy it.
I still have yet to play pickleball. I'm sure I'll
Oh.
enjoy it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of cheese should go on a burger?
American.
American. That's a fast answer. You feel the same way?
I do, yeah.
All right, it's American cheese, folks. What's your death row meal? You can make it big, anything you want, as much as you want, but you have to be specific.
I would say the Cacio e Pepe at Vespaio.
Okay, that's specific. That's good. I gotta go get that now.
God. The pork chop at Perry's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pork chop at Perry's.
They do the half off pork chop on Fridays for lunch. If
Nice.
you've never had it, get it.
I have not had it.
It's incredible.
Awesome.
That and the cacio pepper is also.
Yeah.
All right, I need to try both of those. Have you been watching any good TV lately?
Reservation Dogs.
Reservation Dogs.
Best show ever written.
Ever written?
Not
Okay.
ever, but
Yeah. Really
It's
highly
right
rated.
now. They just finished the series. It's 3 seasons.
Okay, gotcha.
Have you watched it?
I watched like the pilot on Hulu. I watched a lot of stuff on Hulu. I just didn't have the subscription anymore, so I need to go back. I want to watch that and The Bear. I haven't watched
Yeah.
that yet.
Yeah.
Reservation Dogs.
but I liked what I saw,
would
yeah.
Tell
Number
any
one.
and everybody, it's the number one show. Like,
Okay.
It's so amazing.
Is that your answer as well?
Love it. We recently watched Righteous Gemstones. Is fun.
Also.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Righteous Gemstones is good.
Yeah.
I like everything that they make. The
Yeah.
Eastbound and Down was really good back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. What else? What else do we have here? What is your favorite dive bar? Again, you can't say yourself.
Question.
I mean, my favorite bar. Oh God, that's tough.
It's gotta be
anywhere,
dive.
I
or
don't
just
get.
in
I don't
Austin.
get out.
Dive
much.
bar anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
R Bar in New Orleans.
Car bar.
R.
R Bar.
R bar.
Royal Street Bar. That's probably
Gotcha.
one of my favorite bars
No kidding.
ever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been there.
That's
actually.
fair.
It's incredible. You'll go there and
That's in
look it up.
Marigny.
And look at them and go, oh,
Uh huh.
I see.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, R Bar in New Orleans is one of my all-time favorites.
In town, we go to Lowdown.
I like Shangri-La.
Lowdown Lounge. Yeah.
I mean,
Gravel.
granted,
Gibson
I'm a little
before,
biased
right?
because I worked
I'm
there for
thinking
so
of different
long,
something
but-
else.
Lowdown right on East 6th.
Yeah.
Grackle, Shang,
Liberty.
Liberty.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
Shangri-La.
those are kind of
Yeah.
go-tos.
Yeah, those are all our homies.
Yeah. Fair
Those are
enough.
all. Yeah, they're all our buds,
yeah.
and so we go see our friends. Yeah.
Nice and close. And so our bar, I meant to ask this earlier, but like that's one of the kind of places that you were thinking of when you opened the Cavalier. Is that kind of the idea? Like, do you have influences like that went into like the vibe of this place?
I would say organically over time,
what it
visiting
turned
New
into,
Orleans
yeah.
And enjoying our time at our bar, some of that came back here.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Were there
But
other
not
places
originally.
like that?
I don't. Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay, fair
Yeah.
enough. All right, move on. Well, what the fuck is umami? Do you know? Because I don't know.
It's a flavor profile.
Okay. What tastes like umami?
Mushrooms,
Mushrooms? Okay. Any specific mushrooms?
probably.
I'm on a quest to understand umami, and so I don't quite
Miso
understand.
probably
it.
falls under that.
Like miso soup?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sort of earthier
Yeah.
flavors
Gotcha.
is my
It
understanding.
tastes like dirt.
Not necessarily
okay.
dirt.
Yeah. Like
I have no idea.
fresh. Okay. Is there a single good doctor in Austin?
Well, Dr. Dick Chop retired, so
Yes.
No.
He was the
Would you
local
say
he was
Dr.
the-
Dick Chop?
He was
Yeah,
the-
he was the local vasectomy doctor.
Oh, he
when
retired.
for 30 years.
So there are no good doctors in
Literally.
Austin.
No good doctors anymore.
Well, sorry, folks. All right, pick 3 spots for your ideal Friday night in Austin.
I enjoy Holiday, the new bar on the east side.
Okay, I haven't been there.
That's where I go with my sister.
Gotcha.
Yes. Chadwick and I have dinner at Vespaio often. And, I mean, Little Darlin down south is a nice
Right. I think, yeah,
dive bar.
if we go out on a Friday night, it would be Vespaio. Maybe go get a drink over at Treasury.
Yes.
Yeah. Love
then-
Treasury.
and then
hoping to
in-
get them on the podcast too.
Yeah, and in the night at probably Little Darlin.
Yeah.
All right, that's a good one.
Classy to trashy, you know.
All right, I'm gonna just a few more. If you were, this is a hypothetical question. If you were stoned in a grocery store, maybe HEB, what do you grab?
Fritos and bean dip,
Fritos and bean dip.
Ruffles and cottage cheese.
Nice. Wow. Okay, I like
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Those are good
I go
combos.
into HB stoned often. So,
Uh-huh.
I mean, goldfish.
Oh, you know what?
Any particular flavors of goldfish, like pizza flavor
I just
blasted?
like the regular goldfish.
Just regular,
Yeah.
straight up goldfish.
I like the circus cookies, the pink and white
Yeah.
with sprinkles.
The animal cookies?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The circus
yeah.
ones that are dipped in icing.
Oh yeah, yeah, classic.
Yeah.
The what is it? The Cedars tzatziki.
Oh, yeah, Cedar's tzatziki.
Yeah, I'll do that.
It's a
What do you
legit,
do with the
it's a
tzatziki?
legit dip.
Yeah.
Fritos?
Yeah. Crackers or
Yeah.
cucumbers, carrots, whatever.
HEB has some legit dips right now.
They do. And
It's
then
crazy.
They
Chips and
also
dips.
have
Yeah.
Chips and
really
dips
good.
is the answer.
I like their hot stickers they do.
Oh yeah, they're not bad. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. For grocery store sushi and
Yeah.
like kind of like
If
stuff
if
like
I'm
that. It's
stoned
not bad
and
at
grabbing
all.
them, it's not,
Yeah.
not making it home. I'm
Yeah,
eating
right.
it cold on the way home. So
What's the most disgusting food that's still good?
My mother makes a holiday dish that is a Southern family tradition. From her grandmother, who's from Louisiana, this is where the recipe comes from, and it's called. My mom calls it green stuff. It's a Jello.
Green stuff?
It's a Jello
The
salad.
green stuff sounds disgusting.
She serves it at Thanksgiving every year. It's a Jello
Jell-O
salad.
salad.
So pistachio Jello,
yeah.
Okay.
pineapple chunks, whipping cream.
It's a lot of sugar.
Like the heavy whipping cream.
Yeah.
Pineapple chunks, pecans, and shredded cheese.
Shredded cheese. What kind of cheese?
like cheddar.
Shredded
Wow.
cheese.
That's the thing that makes it like.
Took it over the edge.
Yeah, that's because everything else until that point, I'm like, okay, yeah, I get this, but
I like that you were like, what kind of cheese? Like there would be a good cheese in it.
I mean, I hope it's not like feta, you know?
It's
Like,
like, oh, Oscar would be great in that.
you can maybe put like a brie in there, but cheddar, fair enough.
Also, one of my favorite dishes is broccoli cheese casserole, but if you put
yeah.
water chestnuts
Yeah,
in it,
my
I
grandmother
will
put-
flip a fucking table.
Butter chestnuts?
Water chestnuts.
Water chestnuts, okay.
It tastes like nothing. It's just hard and gross.
All right, this is one word answer. Bottles or cans?
Bottles.
You said bottles, you said cans. All right, I'm bottles, clearly. I feel like beer tastes more crisp coming out of a bottle. I don't know, that might just be me. You're
like-
drinking out of a can right now.
I know. Well, these don't come in bottles.
I like these, by the way. I had one of these during the Saints game the other day.
They're good.
Yeah, that and a Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
If you're not drinking, you kind of you almost get there.
I like the way a can looks,
Yeah,
like when you're holding it in a bar. But
yeah.
give me a bottle.
Fair enough. Do you like Steely Dan?
Yeah.
Sure, I couldn't name a song, but sure. Background music, no
All
problem.
right, fair enough. Let's do maybe two more, and then we'll call it. What's your breakfast taco of choice?
Potato, egg, and cheese.
Potato, egg, and cheese.
Yeah. I mean, to go simple, it's bacon, egg, and cheese. But
Yeah, I'm with you on
There's
that.
a taco at who did it? It's called the Don Chongo.
Was that torch cheese or was it
No,
Pueblo Viejo?
it's yes,
Pueblo Viejo.
and it's just refried beans, cheese, avocado, and bacon. It's awesome.
Refried cheese, avocado, bacon sounds
So-
amazing.
So good.
Where Pueblo Viejo, you're saying? Perfect.
Don Chongo.
All right, last question. What is the key to romantic love?
Micro dates.
Micro dates. What is a micro date?
A micro date is, for example, when we have been our busiest here at the bar, and he's working all day and I'm working all night. We get a 30-minute break to go across the street at Loswell and have a beer and hold hands under the bar.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
Micro dates.
That's
Micro dates.
perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's it. That's it. Thank you all both very much. This has
Yeah,
been a
of
lot of
course.
fun. I'm glad we finally got to do this.
Absolutely.
So yeah, thank you, Chadwick,
Thank you.
Rochelle.
Nice to see you.
All right, this is Bon Temps Club, Cavalier. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching or listening to this episode of Bon Temps Club. I hope you enjoyed it. You can expect more of these every other Sunday. If you did like it, please like this video and subscribe on YouTube. You can also follow us on social media. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Bontom Club. That's BONTEMPS Club. Thank you.